Hello, high school football fans. It's the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. We are at Millbrook High School tonight where we have a traditional, long-standing North Raleigh rivalry between the Millbrook Wildcats and the Leesville Road Pride. Both these teams entering this week ranked in the top 25 of the HighSchoolOT statewide rankings, that is all classifications and all associations. Leesville, with a 4-1 record, is ranked number 18 in the state. They're also number 5 in the 919, and Millbrook is ranked number 1 in the 919 and number 6 in the state. Coming off a huge win last week against Rollsville, that sets them up to do something pretty historic. We'll get to that as we get a little bit closer to kickoff here and further on into the game. I am J. Mike Blake. Joining me tonight, we've got Tyler Sells behind the camera, and Tyler Clark joining me on the broadcast. I'm the only one here, not Tyler. Tyler Clark, go ahead and tell me a little bit about what you're looking to see from this game, especially a few standout players in that Millbrook defense.
Well, the Millbrook defense is going to have to show their stars tonight. You know, Leesville runs the ball really well, but you know, Millbrook's got that star-studded defense led by Quentin Cipher, and I'm excited to see the matchup tonight.
Quentin Cipher, the standout, the headliner, really, for this Millbrook team and Millbrook defense. We'll be calling his name often because right now he's at 77 tackles through 5 games. And that's a pretty darn good average. He's got offers from all over. And last week, in that big game against Rollsville, a defensive touchdown and a rare offensive touchdown coming out as a tight end catching a pass.
He's really a jack of all trades. You can put him anywhere on the line of scrimmage. You can put him on the line of scrimmage. You can put him back deep. As they're running out right now.
It'll be interesting to see how we see him move around tonight. Both teams are taking the field. It's also homecoming night here for Millbrook. As you know, in high school, sometimes you got to pick out of a limited set of September or October home games. And sometimes homecoming can be a big-time contest. It's not the pushover that you want to schedule. And this is another one of those opportunities here where we're going to see really good football in front of a big, big crowd.
I agree. You know, Leesville came out deep. Their student section showing their stripes right now. And I'm excited to see it.
Both schools only separated by a couple of stoplights, 7 miles apart. Both different districts here in the North Raleigh area. And both playing some really good football. Both members of the Cap 8 conference. It is one of just 2 conferences in the entire state that has nothing but 8A teams. Not a split conference like you see so often in the past in more rural areas, but you're seeing it all over the state now. But not in this league, the Cap 8. All 8A schools, including the Pride and the Wildcats. Tonight, 3 of them entered this week with a 2-0 conference record. Inlow is the 3rd team. They're playing Athens Drive tonight. So there is a chance that even though these 2 teams are tied for first, there may still be a tie for first next week as well, should Inlow win. We'll keep track of those scores. You can keep track of all scores at the Talk It Out NC scoreboard on HighSchoolOT.com, the state's most up-to-date, accurate scoreboard. Get your scores there first and get them right. Millbrook coming out to kick this one away. This is Ethan Lebrecki. Handling the kicking duties. And we are soon going to get underway here in just a little bit. As the Wildcats are all lined up.
Might be an onside early on.
They are
Might be just a formation, though.
Just showing that. We'll see if they split wide, and they will. Leesville would now respond accordingly.
Excited to see the 12th man here from Millbrook.
Yeah,
The
great.
student section is full.
Yeah, great crowd right in front of us. It's a good booming kick into the end zone. No chance for a return on that one And the Pride will start this drive at the 20-yard line. Now, one of the guys who was back to receive that kick just now, number 1, Devin Goldston. He's a wide receiver, and he's the headliner for this Pride offense. Committed to Wake Forest. He enters tonight with 25 receptions and 403 yards and 4 touchdowns, and those are also really good numbers through 5 games, particularly when some of their most recent games, they don't really need them after halftime. Quarterback tonight for Leesville Road is Demasio Cueto. Pistol formation with a man in motion. Now he's got 2 backs with him. Here's a give. And met right by 2 tacklers, including Quentin Cipher. That's Michael Ramsey on the carry.
And like you said earlier, expect to hear Quentin Cipher's name all night.
Oh, maybe 2 yards on that one. Apologies, that's actually Donovan Best. Donovan Best in the league area earlier in this game. Three wideouts for Leesville. Cueto is going to have to move to his left, getting back to close to the original line of scrimmage. May have even lost a yard or 2. I think he's back to the 20.
And he was hot. He had to move out of that pocket. Quentin Cipher was blitzing as fast as he could. Millbrook's offensive line held up pretty well, though.
2 yards forward, 2 yards back. It's 3rd and 10 here on the first possession of the game. For Leesville. Best, the running back right now, only has 62 yards rushing on the year.
Short blitz.
Cueto is going to take off and have to run with it, scrambling, trying to find some yardage. Not going to make it. Picks up about 6 or 7 on that one. Be a 4th and manageable here, but the punting unit is coming out.
Now you can find some positives out of the first drive here for Leesville. They didn't move the ball how they wanted to, but it's a good sign when your quarterback can get shifty a little bit. 6-7 yard gain is not bad at all for the first drive, especially against the stout Millbrook defense.
And punting this one is, I believe that's Devin Goldston back there. Not often you see a leading receiver punt. And he gets a high one across the 40. Fair catch is signaled and hauled in by Malachi Gilchrist. And we're about to see this Wildcats offense take the field. The ball spotted at 34. Let's take a moment to tell you about next week's High School OT Game of the Week. We are going to move to Alamance County as Williams High School will tangle with Southeast Alamance. That's next Friday at 7 p.m. live from Southeast Alamance High School with the High School OT Game of the Week presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. And Alpaca Chicken feeding both teams tonight as they have done every week this year. Just a great thing for these players. Who doesn't like a nice meal? And you can get your own free meal if you download that Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app today.
I might have to download the app.
Get that app. Test out the sauces, Tyler. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
Handoff here on first down and met in the backfield, perhaps losing a yard. The first guy there is Gavin Lennon, number 6. Quick tackle made on Bryleson McCullers, a solid running back for Millbrook. And it is indeed 1 yard loss. So a good opening play by this Leesville defense, which is no slouch either.
I agree. They held a really good Jordan team to 22 points, so it's not bad at all.
And that's really the only test of Leesville this year, was that week 1 loss to Jordan, 22-20. As this is a throw from Bryson Gray, he completes the pass to Malachi Thomas. He's tackled immediately, and looks like a 3rd and 2 coming up there. They get 9 on that completion. Bryson Gray is a guy that last year they were using him in a kind of a quarterback rotation. He's kind of taken his game to a new level this year. He settled in. He's the guy He's got some recruiting interests, whether it's a quarterback or as an athlete. And he enters tonight's game with 10 touchdowns, does have 5 picks, but 51 of 82 passing for 757 yards. And he's adding a dynamic to this team that they haven't had in a while.
It's power packaging right now.
Now is this the old T formation? They come out and there's a timeout. Leesville says, nope, we are not. We know how to fix this. So they're going to talk about it, and we'll take a timeout as well.
Don't fall for the myths. Get the facts about underage drinking.
Myth. Teens bounce back fast and teenage athletes can perform just fine after a night of drinking alcohol. The fact is, alcohol can hinder athletic performance for up to 3 days, delaying recovery and causing long-term issues with muscle loss and weakness. But don't just take it from me.
Choosing not to drink as an underage athlete has really helped me significantly. I've been able to focus, keep my priorities straight, and it's helped me separate myself from, many other people.
Get more facts at talkitoutnc.org.
We are back. This is a third, let's call it a 3rd and 1, why don't we? It looks a little closer than it did before the timeout. Leesville needed to talk this over. They want to stop here, even though it's only the first quarter. It's the give. Looks like he's going to have enough for the first down, even though a host of Leesville tacklers are there. It will indeed be first down. Wildcats trying to find the number who had, I believe that was Brylerson McCullers, number 3. He picks up a solid 3 yards himself. And Millbrook will move the chains.
You had to think, though, even if they didn't get that on that 3rd down, it's 4-down territory right there.
This early in the game, you're going with a 4th down.
4th and 1, you got to trust your guy, especially on homecoming night.
I like the confidence boost you want them to get. There's a flag on this one. It was a jet sweep handoff to Malachi Gilchrist, but it's in the direction of holding. And it is indeed holding, going to back him up on first down. Not that there's ever a good time for holding, Tyler, but I feel like when it happens on first down, it makes it so much more like a 1st and 20 now. Sometimes that can stall, especially in high school. It just kind of freezes up everything that you want to do in rhythm with your what you would like to call.
Right, and especially on an early down, you want to gain half, maybe if not all the yards back on the penalty. So, and they've got enough plays to do so.
The line to gain is the opposing 44. They're on their own 36. Gray flinging it out, lost his footing, and I tell you what, I think he sailed it high on purpose once he realized he lost his footing as he was throwing it, and that was a good thing.
Yep.
Put it where no one else can get it. It'll be 2nd and long.
Pretty good IQ on the mishap there. A player that I'm kind of liking right now is Gavin Lennon, number 6, the defensive end for Leesville. He seems to be around the ball all the time. He's got a high effort guy. He's running after the receivers, and it just looks really good right now.
2nd long and roll out. Gray throws it short, trying to make the tackle, and Leesville's got that one pretty well covered. They gained maybe a yard or 2 on this one as it's complete to Malachi Gilchrist. And it'll be 3rd and long now. Tyler, one thing Leesville always plays sound football, fundamental football. Coach Ben Kolstad, in his 7th season now, has a win-loss record of 60-15. And we're seeing that sound football here tonight.
Yeah, I agree. He moves to a 3-down on 3rd and long, which is, in my opinion, the smartest thing you could do right here, putting more DBs in the back end to cover the speed for Millbrook's receivers.
This is Gray. His eyes are downfield. He doesn't see one open. He's going to have to try to take off. Did he throw a pick? He threw it, but I think the defender may have landed out of bounds.
And you know who that is?
Whoa, that was dangerous.
On the possible interception was Devin Golds.
Golston playing both ways and the punter. And he got his hands under it, but I believe he landed out of bounds. It was, to me, it looked like he cleanly intercepted it. But where he fell is what cost him that. And that's one where Gray looked like he wanted to get rid of it out of bounds, but it just didn't quite get where he thought it was going to go.
I agree. The Millbrook sideline told me otherwise, but, you know, the refs know best on the field, so.
This is Lebrecki out to punt this one away, as that holding penalty does, in fact, doom what the Wildcats can do on their opening drive. 7:09 left here in the first quarter. Takes his time with this one. And is fair caught at the 32. Leesville going to their sidelines, pumping their team up. They're happy with that. You know, they allowed one first down and then quickly got out of it. So far, I think this is probably what we expect with two sound defenses. Of course, Millbrook with not just one but two guys highly recruited. We haven't even mentioned number 22, Rashad Streets, and all the offers he's got. Both he and Quentin Cipher are only juniors. So the present and the future is bright for Millbrook.
Man.
Ball is at the 33. Man in motion for Leesville. A little RPO action. That's a really basically amounts to a lateral there. Is hauling that one in for a loss is Jaden Lee Perry.
I think it was a mix of a few Wildcats in the tackle.
2nd and 11 now for Leesville. Looked like a good play call, just didn't fool anyone.
Yeah.
And under pressure. He's got to get rid of it, and he does. Completes it to Perry. And a good move there by Demasio Cueto, who enters tonight with a 77% completion percentage. Like, that's really high. 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he is one of just 4 quarterbacks in the state to have already gone, excuse me, not 4, 44. I missed the digit there. So 44 is still pretty elite company to have more than 1,000 yards already this year.
And for him to throw 100 passes made the statistic easy for us right there.
Yeah, no, 77 out of 100, I could do that math. May not be the best mathematician in the world, but I got that. Play action, throwing it deep, his ball's batted up into the air, and it's intercepted. Oh, it's dropped. No, it's dropped. It was a pop fly to center field, and all Rashad Streets had to do was catch it before he started running with it. Oh, no.
I think he envisioned celebrating with the homecoming crowd in the end zone.
Oh, I'm sure there were all sorts of visions popping into his head. There was no one around him. The ball went straight up into the air.
Nonetheless, great defense, forcing a 4 and out.
Yep, in the quarterback's face, batting that one away, and Leesville wasting no time running the punt team out there where Golston will show off his leg. Kind of a low line drive punt. We'll see if it takes a good Leesville bounce. Decent. And the Pride will start at their own 35. Fall is here, so is the Talk It Out NC Fall Giveaway. Now through November, start the conversation and enter for your chance to win. 6 lucky winners will receive a $250 grocery gift card. Head to talkitoutnc.org to submit your entry. While you're there, share what's on your mind at the dinner table. Plus, you can also tag Talk It Out NC on social media, sharing healthy recipes you feed your athlete, a short video of you cooking, or other ways that you spark the conversation at mealtime. Again, that's one of our sponsors, talkitoutnc.org. Run there on first down, going nowhere. McCullers, a tough running back that we've seen over the years, but not getting any kind of open lanes, really no oxygen there to do something with it.
And these linebackers are playing really close close to the ball. They're trying to shut down the run. And I guess they're leaving their DBs out there one-on-one. So should be a great edge matchup for these guys.
2nd and 11. We're getting close to the 5-minute mark here in the first half. Swing pass complete. He's got a block, and he's got a little bit of room to run. He's marked out of bounds, but he's going to have a first down here, folks. On 2nd and 11, they pick up 12. A nice completion to Malachi Gilchrist.
Malachi Thomas really had a great block out there, kind of freeing up some space for his other Malachi to get the first down there.
Now the 2 Malachis are the top 2 targets. We got 2 Tylers in the press box, and they got 2 Malachis out there from Millbrook. Combined, they have almost 500 yards receiving. Low snap handled. McCullers makes the first guy miss, and he does good just to get across the original line of scrimmage there, as that play didn't look good from the jump just because of the low snap. That's McCullers' 4th carry of the night. It's good, sound, fundamental football from Leesville.
Matchup I want to watch is Devin Golson on Malachi down there bottom of your screen. Oh my.
Over the middle, complete to McCullers. Boy, a great job there by both quarterback buying himself enough time and running back for being that safety valve in the middle of the field when the guys on the outside were covered up pretty well.
I don't know, I may be a little biased here, but you know, the blocking on the edge, another Malachi Thomas just gave it to Devin Golson right there.
Leave it to the offensive lineman to bring up offensive lineman. Got to look after your own, right?
Yep. I love to see good blocks.
4 wide here for the Wildcats as they are in plus territory for the first time tonight. Swing pass out complete. That's Malachi Gilchrist with it. See, yes, it is Gilchrist. And he is going to lose a few yards. Again, just no room to run. Great job by the DBs playing assignment football, as they say. Just know your assignment, go to the ball, be dependable, do your job. As there's a coach in the triangle who said that a few times over the years. And that's no pickup on the play.
2 really good defenses showing tonight. It's about adjustments all game long and which coach can make adjustments faster.
2nd and 10. Gray's rolling to his right. He's under pressure. He throws complete and making one guy miss, trying to juke for a few more yards. He's got a first down. That's Malachi Thomas. Ball's at the 31. Pickup of 11.
They just had to feed Malachi Thomas. He's been offering some good blocks all drive, and you got to reward it.
Trips to the left now for Millbrook. So we're right at 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Clock stopped for, oh, that's right, he stepped out of bounds. Swing pass is complete, and a lot of room to run in front of him. Brought down inside the 10. There is a flag. Oh, there's a flag. There's going to be a hold called on that downfield blocking. Got one of the receivers helping out a fellow receiver, Tyler.
But let's talk about the speed from Gilchrist. Goodness.
Yeah,
lightning.
He was out, that's for sure. This will back them up to the 41 now. We're right at the 40, so let's make a 1st and 19 here. With the clock under 3 minutes. Millbrook coming off such a huge win last week. Tough to have such big, meaningful conference games back-to-back, keeping young guys focused. Bryson Gray, he's trying to focus on who's open downfield. There's another flag as he tries to throw it, looking for his tight end on the run. It's incomplete, but there is another hold making another 10 yards back, and now we're going to be about at midfield here, Tyler.
Oof. Closer where we got started at in the drive. Millbrook's defense, offensive line, just got to hold up. They're getting after him, even in a 3-down front, getting pressure on the quarterback. So that's a big testament to Leesville's defensive front.
And credit to one of the Leesville guys been getting a lot of pressure tonight, number 13, Will Matthews, a sophomore. He's helped flush Bryson Gray out of the pocket quite often. Gray was hoping to find Hayes Bronner deep downfield. He's in the slot now.
Big guy.
Single back, pistol formation. They look to the sideline for the call. Millbrook 5-0, Leesville 4-1. Gives to Bryleson McCullers, and he is only going to get about a yard.
Oof.
That's Derek Schumanauer, number 5. He's the leading tackler for Leesville, and he's the first guy there making a solo stop for no gain.
Wow, like I said before, this Leesville front came to play. Film all week, and they made some adjustments, a little bit of adjustments from the first drive, and they've been stout up front. Almost no running gaps open.
Second and a long, long way here. It's about second and Creedmoor, really. One of the plays that got called back for holding was inside the 10. Swing pass, complete. This is Gilchrist with it to the 40, to the 30. Great downfield blocking again for Millbrook. There is a flag coming in. Maybe the blocking was a little too good.
And that aggressiveness from Malachi Thomas, I think, got him. Blocking the guy out of bounds, but it looks like he swung him out of bounds almost. And
Gilchrist with 23 yards, but they are going to move it back for, like you said, that blocking. It was good, but a little too aggressive. And kind of became tangled up, went out of bounds together.
And I get it. You're trying to show out for the homecoming crowd, but you got to be smart. You got to be smart.
Gilchrist up to 4 receptions for 37 yards. Bryson Gray, 7 of 9 passing for 70 yards. Coach Lamar Marshall in his 3rd year here in Millbrook wanting an explanation. He is 30-5 since taking the reins here. He also coached for a long time at some really successful teams in the triad area. So he goes from triad to triangle, and the winning ways have been continuing for him. The ball's at the 37. The line to gain is the 21. The HighSchoolOT game of the week. Gray airing it out, complete over the middle, trying to bring him down, and finally does. That's complete again to Malachi Gilchrist.
I had to hold my breath a little bit there just to make sure there were no flags this time. And I can confirm there are no flags.
It is kind of crazy to think of all the plays that we've had where Millbrook, the line to gain has been the 21. It is the line to gain has been the 21 for about 6 plays here. And now it's a 3rd and short, and Millbrook's going to take a timeout to talk about this. We'll take a quick break as well. We'll be back in just a moment.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, but most times...
Well, we were going to take a break, but we'll get to it next time. There's 48.2 seconds left in this quarter. And Tyler, maybe it's the timeout that gives me this sense, but taking a timeout here, you're starting to realize, like, wait a second, this is a huge third down stop. Because the defenses are playing so lights out, we can tell without even having finished the first quarter, points are at a premium tonight.
Yeah, and this is a 3rd and 2. You know, the power package barely got Millbrook that first down in the first drive. You know, I think Leesville's made some adjustments from the first drive, but Millbrook doesn't seem to have their power package in right now.
Partly because of those flags, but Leesville's defense has been on the field for quite some time here. Again, 48.2 seconds left here in the first quarter. Shotgun formation. The receivers are kind of bunched tight. This is quarterback Bryson Gray. He's looking to his left. Under pressure immediately. Spins out of it. Now throws. Oh, he had a guy open in the flat and it's incomplete. Right over the middle was Malachi Thomas. And it's incomplete. 4th down coming up.
And there's not a doubt in Coach Marshall's mind that he is keeping his guys in the field and going for it on the 4th down.
Jacob Edwards, number 41 for Leesville, a linebacker. He had that blitz. Immediately took Bryson Gray away from where he wanted to go. You could tell the entire time that design was to bring Gilchrist in a crossing route. Late sub here for Leesville. Can they get their guy off in time? It's close, they do. 4th and short. Gray rolling to his right. Now he's throwing deep and incomplete.
Ooh.
Turnover on downs. Leesville ball.
And Mr. Momentum seems to have left the Millbrook side as Leesville's crowd has ignited for their big defensive stop, which felt like an eternity of a drive.
Just, again, the line to game stayed the same for probably 7 or 8 plays, and they held up. And now that Leesville offense taking the field again. They're a top 25 team in the state for a reason, folks. And they're showing you a little bit of that flexing on the defensive side. We'll see what the offense can do here on the new drive. The give is the best. It gets a few solid yards forward. Interesting that Best is getting the bulk of the work early here in the first quarter. Only about 62 yards on the season, which ranks him 5th on the team in rushing. So we've not seen any of those top 4 running backs in the backfield for Leesville. Could always be an injury we don't know of. It's not like we get an injury report in high school. This could be the last snap of the first quarter if they want to take it. They decide, nope, we'll just wait till the second quarter. After 1 quarter of play, folks, the defenses are showing out here in North Raleigh. Leesville Road, 0. Millbrook, 0.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry. But most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions. Like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early. Talk often. Talk it out, NC.
Are you craving chicken? Download the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app to gain access to exclusive offers and earn rewards by eating the food that you love. New members who sign up will receive a free entree. Again, that's the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app. Taste their legendary flavor and homemade pride at 18 locations across the Triangle, Fayetteville, Mebane, Wilmington, Sanford, and now Wilson. You can visit them online at alpacachicken.com and catch the Alpaca Chicken Game of the Week each Friday night on HighSchoolOT.com.
Welcome back to the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. The first quarter is done. The second quarter is beginning right now. Both teams have not moved the ball a whole lot, but Leesville, this is their second drive of the game, so we can give them a break on that. Millbrook had 85 yards in that first quarter. Leesville, which again only had the ball once, stuck with just 12. Let's see what they can do here on 2nd down and 9. They're throwing deep. Cueto looking for Golston. Would have been a tough catch if he could have hauled in on the far sideline, but it will be incomplete.
And we're talking about Sparks. If he would have caught that pass right in front of the Leesville faithful, I imagine momentum easily could have switched sides.
Interesting play design to kind of roll him one way, throw across his body. Sometimes you don't want that for high school quarterbacks, but he showed that that ball was a little bit, not exactly where you want it to have, but it had a good zip on it. Shotgun formation, 3 wide for the Pride. Airing out again, Cueto going to Golson up top, and he's caught. Plus territory, no, incomplete. The other referee on that far sideline says he did not land in bounds.
Still a great effort on the catch.
He, again, 2 times tonight where a Leesville player has caught the ball but landed out of bounds. Once was on defense for an interception. That one would have been about 32-yard pickup. Maybe a little bit less than that. We'll call it like 28. But instead, Golson, he's got to jog back, line up at punter.
He is getting the full work order tonight, playing both ways.
He had to get that one under quick. The Millbrook rush was coming. Picked up off the bounce at the 34. Look at this return, cutting his way back. A lot of Leesville guys are going to wrestle down Tatum Martin, but that's a good return for Tatum Martin, about 16 yards. And the Wildcats will start in plus territory. Always a good thing, especially in a defensive showdown like this one, Tyler.
Yep. You know, they've got to get something going, though. The offensive line has to hold up without holding. And the outside receivers have to be the stars that we know them to be.
Leesville has won 8 or more games in 7 of the last 8 years, and the only one was that COVID-shortened year where they went a solid 5-2. One of the most consistent programs in Raleigh. If you go back further than that, Millbrook also one of the most consistent programs in Raleigh. Solid run there on first down as McCullers. It's honestly one of his best pickups tonight, is kind of seal off some of those defensive linemen for Leesville that have been wrecking a little bit of havoc. Forward progress gets him 3.
And for the viewers at home, you're not seeing things. That is Quentin Cyphers on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, they like to move him around. And he's looking like a lead blocker here. Again, he caught a touchdown pass last week against Rolesville. The gives to McCullers, and I tell you what, he's running behind Cypher and company and getting some good yardage. That's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
I would assume he's going to stay out there.
Well, you like blocking a lot, Tyler. How do you like the linebacker blocking out there? What kind of job is he doing?
I mean, he ran downhill like he saw the ball on Leesville side, and he ran down and cracked a skull and, you know, moved the yard a good bit.
I think it does say something that this is probably the best they've looked on back-to-back runs tonight. Making back-to-back runs as McCullers has a first down.
Right behind, you know, our guy.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. 8-yard pickup that time for McCullers. It's his 8th carry. It's been tough sledding, so he only has 15 yards. You're starting to see it a little bit now what he can do. He entered tonight with 375 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. First and 10, will they do it again? Nope, play action, and the fingertips for Malachi Gilchrist. Oh man. It was a perfect setup where you've given it to McCullers, given it to him 3 times in a row. You hold that mesh a little bit long, you got one-on-one coverage, and the ball was on the money there, Tyler.
And this is not the first time that a Millbrook big play has been stopped by just one small thing. And this time it was the catch. Last time it was the holdings. So Millbrook's got to clean some of this stuff up.
2nd and 10 now for Millbrook. It's the handoff to a new running back, and he's stuck and met immediately. Another great tackle by a guy that you've shouted out a few times tonight. Actually, excuse me, that is Samuel White, number 9 for Leesville. He goes and meets Santonis Wright for a short gain. It's 3rd and 8. Santonis Wright, the second leading rusher for Millbrook. Ball's at the 31. They've got to get to the 23. Trips to the right. Leesville kind of moving around what they were doing on defense there before the snap. Over the middle, dropped, almost caught, almost picked. Instead, it falls to the ground harmlessly, bringing up 4th down.
Another drop for the Millbrook receivers. And I mean, their plays, every little thing matters, and you're seeing it right here.
When Gray kind of set his feet before he threw that ball, one of the linebackers was reading his eyes. The ball went through his hands as well. We have so many close calls in this game, and the Wildcats are now going to go for it here. They look to the sideline on 4th and 8 from the 31. 8:37 left here in the second quarter. The HighSchoolOT game of the week. 4 wide. He's going long. Ooh. Up top, too far. And Leesville will take over on downs for the second time tonight.
And you got, like, they had the matchup. They had one of their number 1 receivers out there on a one-on-one.
Basically saying, go to the pylon and we'll hit you there. And the throw is pretty good, just a little too far. And now Leesville takes over. 8:32 here in the second quarter. J. Mike Blake alongside Tyler Clark. Tyler Suttles behind the camera. Pleased to bring you another week of action here at HighSchoolOT. Play action, throws complete to Golston. He'll step out of bounds, pick up about 6 yards. And that's the second completed pass for Demasio Cueto tonight. Golston, his first registered catch. He's had a few that have been close. And that catch pretty significant for Golston as he goes over 1,500 for his high school career.
Huge milestone.
Honestly, if he keeps up this pace, he might get close to 1,500 this year on top of it. Cueto, well, he has no place for him to go. He eludes a tackler, almost throws a pick. It goes out of bounds. That's one where you just want him to throw it out because closing rapidly. It looked like Rashad Streets got his hand on that one, perhaps.
Things like that never end up well. And, even though it was an incomplete pass, still they get to redo on 3rd and about 3. Very makeable for the Leesville offense.
I do wonder how much Leesville, because they've had such an easy going in the last 4 games, how much tonight throws them off a little bit. At the same time, Millbrook, you've got to kind of get reloaded. Last week was great. This week is also big. I wonder if they're having trouble kind of refocusing after everyone told them how great they were for knocking off Rolesville in a game that meant a lot to them just 7 days ago. 3rd and 3, shotgun formation. Cueto's going to try to keep it himself. Cuts back, not going to make it. Boy, the first guy there was Carson Adams, the junior, who was waiting for him. And the punting unit has to come out for Leesville once more.
Millbrook faithful is really upset right now. I think Quinn Cyphers came away with the ball after the tackle for loss.
Ref said, nope, we blew this one dead already. Clock is now under 8 minutes. Between these two schools that are named after former communities that are now just part of kind of a district of Raleigh. Golston, this one's high and a little short. Fair catch, signaled for, and caught at the 45 by Malachi Gilchrist, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. The Millbrook area of Raleigh, it's an old North Raleigh area. Think about a mill near a brook, Millbrook. That's what it was from 1700s, 1800s. And then the last little districts that were left that kind of stood independently got swallowed up as Raleigh grew in about 1971 or so. And then not long after that, the Leesville area, that was kind of its own thing on the more northwest side of Raleigh. So we're kind of northeast side right now. Now Leesville is no longer its own community, just a district of Raleigh. Both these high schools kind of keep the name going, though, just because of their namesake. Keeps that history alive, even as the old buildings, I'm sure, are mostly not standing anymore. The give is to McCullers. Loss of 1 yard. And maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage. That's what the refs are saying. They're saying, no. He got back there. And tell you what, on first down, the Leesville defense just locked in. They're not letting you get off a drive off on the right foot.
And what you want to do on first down is at least gain 3 to 4 yards to make it easy on second and third down. And Leesville's done a really good job with their first down defense all night.
2nd and 10. This Leesville team, their last 2 weeks, they've won by identical 56-0 scores. Throw from Gray, complete, short of the first down, but a big hit, but it is caught nonetheless. On the tackle there, that's Evan Brown. On the catch, it's Malachi Gilchrist.
It's great concentration. He knew he was going to take a hit, but came down with it, and makes it easy for the Wildcats offense. For about a 3rd and 2, I'll say.
Gilchrist, about as busy as any receiver we've seen this year. We've seen guys have big games, but 6 receptions with about 6 minutes left in the second quarter is something we have not seen on the high school team game of the week.
Wish he was on my fantasy team.
He would be racking up the points right now. Points per reception. McCullers trying to fall forward. I think he may have it here on third down. It really depends on which ref saw where the ball was when he was planted.
I think we're getting a short here.
Oh, he's short by inches. You're right. Short by inches is in front of me. And I still didn't see the refs, what the refs had right there. They said, nope, not going to make it. And Millbrook has punted once tonight and gone for it on fourth down twice.
Wildcats send out, looks to be a fullback, Marquez Wilbert. And this is the power package.
They got to get to their own 45, just make it. Oh, it's hit in the backfield. Brought down. Leesville's not going to let him get it. Unbelievable stop. Marquez Wilbert on the carry, but he was driven backwards.
And that's a big guy to stop right there. So close, you would think he's guaranteed easy money. Not tonight.
Oh my goodness, Wilbert losing yards. Wilbert, more known as a defensive end who wreaks havoc, as he just gets to stay on the field here. It's Leesville. Now takes over the field in pretty good field position. Definitely the best one they've had to start with tonight. They're at the 40. They're wasting no time getting this one underway. Cueto throws, completes on the sideline to Goldston.
And he took a shot there. Aiden Wilson from the blind side. And still managed to give a catchable ball to our guy, Devin Goldston.
I think Goldston is settling in. I think Cueto is also settling in here. He threw that ball with more authority than he's done all day, I think. He's really let it rip on a good timing route. The ball is at the 29 now. Man in motion was the give. And a good run here, spinning forward. What'd you say about Mr. Momentum earlier, Tyler?
Ooh, switching sides.
That's Akshar Barnes with it.
And once you get the student section into the game, it seems like almost a 12th man on the field. And Leesville is feeling the positive effects of it right now.
It's one thing if you get a turnover on downs. Leesville's had 3 of those tonight. But if you don't quickly get a first down, sometimes their momentum never establishes. You never get any positive for yourself. But Leesville is doing it right now. Good run there. Wilbert on the hit. The run was Barnes once again. And I think he picked up this first down. Indeed, they're going to move the chains. Nice 5-yard gain.
And it's nothing crazy from the Leesville side. They're just running inside zone to the right, inside zone to the left. and letting their running back kind of do the rest.
Clock is ticking down to about 4 minutes left here until halftime. Neither team has gotten on the board yet. Not a surprise when you look at how good their defenses have been. Cueto, he's under pressure by Rashad Streets, and he's brought down for a sack. Big play by the big-time junior recruit. Loss of 7 there.
Streets kind of shuts that momentum down. Kind of gives Millbrook a time to take a breath.
Yeah, they needed, I think, more than anything, even if that was an incomplete pass, a time to catch your breath and regroup is big for them. Leesville, they're looking at an opportunity. Maybe they can get the first points of the game here. They are certainly in that area of the field. Cueto trying to set up the screen to the right and dropped by Goldston. And honestly, if he had caught it, it would have been worse. They probably would have lost yardage there. Well defended by Millbrook.
I do love the play design, though. It was a fake kind of flare route. Came back for a tunnel screen. It was a good idea. Just Millbrook's defense obviously did some film work this week.
And, you know, it's a tough thing, I think, for a wide receiver to kind of look out of the corner of your eye and say, maybe I shouldn't catch this one. I think Goldston certainly has the ability. If he wanted to catch that one, he would have, but what's the best thing for the team right now? Lose it and 2 more yards or have a third? And what we'll call here a 17. 4 wide for the Pride. Demasio Cueto.
Ooh, stadium pulse.
There's a timeout. Leesville. Let's take a short break, folks. Big play coming up here.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, but most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions, like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early, talk often. Talk it out, NC.
We are back at the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week. I'm J. Mai Blake, along with Tyler Clark. Leesville Road has a big third down here. They need to make it inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line to pick up a first. There's 3:03 on the clock. It's third down. In a scoreless game, the snap comes early. Cueto's going to throw it away, and it's incomplete.
Maybe a grounding, they're waiting.
Whoa, I didn't even know the referee had kind of set the ball for them to do a snap, but the ball just came to Cueto.
I think Cueto was surprised too. I think
absolutely.
The center definitely heard something else or was rattled maybe, but
who knows what started that one. I think the Leesville coaches will be interested to know what the heck happened there. But the incomplete pass stops the clock with 2:57. Leesville's going to go for it on 4th down.
4th and long, by the way. It's a long.
So it would be a really long field goal try if they wanted to trot out a team for that. Millbrook coming with a blitz. Cueto steps into it, throws deep, through the hands. Would have been a tough grab, but it was there. Millbrook takes over with 2:53 left until halftime.
You know, you don't love the outcome of the bad snap or the miscommunication, but, you know, it kind of slowed the momentum down, I agree, but it's way better than giving the momentum right to the homecoming side.
You're a high school player. I know the fans are not on top of you the way they can be in college. How much do you actually get into that or hear a student section, the other student section, what have you? Because I think it is certainly different from the higher levels of football because they're not right near you.
Yeah. You know, it's pretty deep, and it's a bunch of high school kids screaming, so.
A big run from McCullers. He's still on his feet, and he could go all the way. 10, 5, touchdown Millbrook out of nowhere. 75 yards.
He was gone just on an inside zone play to the left, and he was out of there. Shout out to the Millbrook offensive line, though. But still, what a great run from McCullers.
You would have thought that highlight came from a different game than this one, the way it's been going. Nothing has been going for both teams on offense, especially on the ground game with McCullers. But there's just maybe lined up differently, and all of a sudden there's a huge advantage of blockers versus defensive personnel on this side of the field.
And maybe Leesville's defense expected pass, kind of, because we're inching close to that 2-minute situation, but Millbrook was totally fine with working what was been working with them the whole game. That inside run play, and it shows to be positive.
7-0. We're going to keep it here. And Millbrook, wow, 75 yards with 2:39 left here in the second quarter. Bryleson McCullers, unbelievable.
He covered ground quickly now. That was a fast 75 yards, I will say.
Yeah, and then there was some guys who maybe could hawk him down or trip him up at the last second, but he didn't tire out. And considering he's had a heavy workload this half, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe somebody could get him, but nope. Bryleson McCullers, his 8th touchdown of the season. A talented senior. And again, Ethan Lubrecki with that extra point. Millbrook, 7-0 here. So now what can Leesville do? They've got to get back up off the mat here. They had a 3rd down. They called a timeout to set it up, and then the snap. If this kickoff we'll have to do again. One of the players got over the line before the ball had been kicked, so we'll back up. Millbrook 5 yards in this redo.
Too excited there.
But going back to, Leesville has a timeout. 3rd and we'll call it 17. They clearly have something they like. Otherwise you don't take the timeout to talk about it there. And then the snap just comes in unexpectedly. The quarterback is not even looking for a snap. It kind of hits him in the knee. He picks it up, he slings it for an incomplete pass, which could have also been, could have gone the other, if there's, you never know with those things.
Right.
Living dangerously. And then they have to trot out, go in for a 4th down and 4th and 17. And when that doesn't work, sets up, of all things, the biggest play of the game so far. Bryleson McCullers, 75 yards for a touchdown.
And that's just crushing for the Leesville side, and just a much-needed boost for the Millbrook offense. Especially the offensive line's confidence that they got several holdings in the first couple of drives.
Lubrecki kickoff, fielded inside the 10 by Perry. He gets across the 20. 2:32 now as Leesville has to try to get downfield, try to get some points before this half. It looked like they had a really good opportunity to do that on their last drive, but as you can see by the scoreboard, best laid plans of mice and men go off to Rye. So here we are. Leesville Road entering this game has outscored its last 3 opponents 162-3. Again, 3 opponents, 3 total points. They did give up 14 to Wake Forest and a 35-14 win in week 2. This is throw by Cueto is complete to Golston right at the sticks.
He did get out of bounds though, which is what you want when you're in a 2-minute situation.
Just shy of a 1st down, so a 9-yard pickup.
And you want to see if Leesville's going to risk maybe another possible mishap, or are they going to go for it all? But with that first pass, I think coach is going to try and get points.
Referee here trying to, I think there was a, see how much time they got to put back on the clock there. But again, like talking about the Leesville defense, week 2, they gave up 14 in a comfortable 35-14 win over Wake Forest. Week 1, they did lose that game to Jordan 22-20, so not giving up a lot of touchdowns even against good competition. Handoff here. We'll pick up a first down. Cypher on the tackle. Good run by Barnes to move the chains. Exactly what you want on a 2nd and short. No huddle. Clock is now at 2:10. Cueto, he's under pressure. He's going to have to flee the pocket and slide smartly. He only gets about a yard because of where they have to spot that ball on the slide. 2nd and 9.
Great pocket awareness, though, for Cueto.
Yeah, he's able to feel where the pressure is coming from without kind of taking unnecessary movements backwards. He's under pressure again. He uncorks one deep. And 4 Millbrook defenders in the area and 1 Leesville receiver, and none of them get it. It's incomplete. And Demasio Cueto, we talked about earlier, he entered tonight with a 77% completion percentage. Tonight, it's 33.3. 4 of 11 passing. 3 of those completions have gone to Golston.
But, you know, they haven't faced such of a defense kind of like Millbrook's. You know, they run this 3, it's kind of 3-3 look, 3-4 maybe.
Handoff. It's to Barnes. Another yard, and now I think Millbrook is going to try to signal timeout, and they have with 1:31. Leesville's punting unit will come out following this timeout. We'll keep it here. And folks, just like winning a big game, because we have a big game in front of us, preventing underage drinking also takes teamwork. Parents and teens can visit talkitoutnc.org for resources to start the conversation about risk of underage drinking. Join Talk It Out NC to cheer for safe, smart choices. Once the scoreboards hit 0 across the state, tune in to the HighSchoolOT postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC. That's at 10:15 p.m. tonight. Joel Bryant and Evan Moesta are going to break down tonight's game, as will I. And we'll go around the state, hear from media members at all the biggest games across North Carolina. Again, that's the HighSchoolOT postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC, live tonight at 10:15 p.m. on HighSchoolOT.com. Leesville punting here. They have 59 yards of offense. Millbrook 182, and 75 of those came on that one scoring play. Golston gets it underway. I feel like the Millbrook players are getting closer to him every time, though. A really good Leesville Road roll. Leesville Road roll. There. Gets that ball down to about the 16. We'll see if Millbrook, I would imagine, calling timeout. They have one more left. Signals, you know what, we want to see what we can do. I don't know if the punt rolling as far as it did changes the calculations for them. But Millbrook is going to get the ball to start the second half. So something to be aware of.
What I would do is I would, test out the waters on a pass play. And if that doesn't work, just run the clock out.
We'll see if they listen to Coach Clark here in the booth with me. Slinging it out, complete, getting a block, getting some good yards, close to a first down is Malachi Gilchrist. I think he's going to have it. He might be right at the first down marker, folks.
Millbrook's offense getting set up very fast.
7 catches, 70 yards for Malachi Gilchrist. Floating this one long, incomplete. Looking for Gilchrist. The ball kind of hung up there too long. If he had brought it down, I think Evan Brown of Leesville was going to make him pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
No harm, no foul on that one. 2nd and 10, 1:03 left until halftime. It'll be Millbrook's homecoming night. We had one of those 2 weeks ago, and we had a top 10 matchup. Tonight we got a top 25 matchup on homecoming. Trips to the right for Millbrook. And Gray's going to keep it himself. Waiting for him in the hole that time was Adam Saunier. Gain of about 2. That brings up 3rd down.
You would think they're not going to try anything funky here and just see how low they can take this clock.
I think you're right.
Gray's over there by a coach. Maybe waiting for a timeout or a play call.
25 seconds. Kind of waiting. I think, like you said, the coach is kind of talking to a ref, making sure he can take the timeout at the right time, maybe, perhaps. And he does. There's 11.8 seconds on the clock, and the band's all lined up to take the field. A lot of dressed up high schoolers ready to take the field for homecoming court. And I mean, probably the most packed we've seen a crowd this year on both sides.
Yeah.
We've had really good crowds every week here at the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. And this is a great one. Next week, the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week will go to Alamance County, where Williams will tangle with Southeast Alamance. First time those two teams have been in the same conference. Again, that's next Friday, 7 p.m., live from Southeast Alamance High School, one of the newer high schools in the state, with the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week, presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. Ball was at about this part of the field when they scored the game's only touchdown. Let's see what Millbrook has here. The give is to McCullers, searching for space, getting a strong run, close to a 1st down. Might be a little bit short, depends on the spot, but 4.4 seconds are on the clock. And they're gonna move it 1st down, but that is the last play of the half. So at halftime, the number 6 team in the state leads the number 18 team in the state thanks to one big play. Millbrook 7, Leesville Road 0.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry. But most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions. Like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early. Talk often. Talk it out, NC.
Are you craving chicken? Download the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app to gain access to exclusive offers and earn rewards by eating the food that you love. New members who sign up will receive a free entree. Again, that's the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app. Taste their legendary flavor and homemade pride at 18 locations across the Triangle, Fayetteville, Mebane, Wilmington, Sanford, and now Wilson. You can visit them online at alpacachicken.com and catch the Alpaca Chicken Game of the Week each Friday night on HighSchoolOT.com.
Don't fall for the myths. Get the facts about underage drinking.
Myth: teens bounce back fast and teenage athletes can perform just fine after a night of drinking alcohol. The fact is, alcohol can hinder athletic performance for up to 3 days, delaying recovery and causing long-term issues with muscle loss and weakness. But don't just take it from me.
Choosing not to drink as an underage athlete has really helped me significantly. I've been able to focus, keep my priorities straight, and it's helped me separate myself from, many other people.
Get more facts at talkitoutnc.org.
Are you craving chicken? Download the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app to gain access to exclusive offers and earn rewards by eating the food that you love. New members who sign up will receive a free entree. Again, that's the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app. Taste their legendary flavor and homemade pride at 18 locations across the Triangle, Fayetteville, Mebane, Wilmington, Sanford, and now Wilson. You can visit them online at alpacachicken.com and catch the Alpaca Chicken Game of the Week each Friday night on HighSchoolOT.com.
Your child pours their heart and soul into their dreams.
You're so ready for this.
But underage drinking can stop a young mind and body from performing at its best.
Okay, everyone, it's time.
We're ready.
Make sure your star keeps shining. Start the conversation about the dangers of alcohol with tips at talkitoutnc.org.
Hey, sorry, Evan, I can't hear you.
Welcome back to the High School OT studios here in Raleigh. Evan Moesta here with you. Halftime right now over at Millbrook High School as the Wildcats scored late in the second quarter to take a 7-0 lead over Leesville Road. Bryleson McCullers with the touchdown for Millbrook in this one, a defensive battle. And the Wildcats lead that one 7-0. Let's take some scores from around the state of North Carolina here. Let's start with the High School OT and the Talk It Out NC statewide scoreboard. The top 25 scores: Grimsley with a second quarter lead over Verina, 14-12 in that one. West Charlotte taking on Independence, 12-7 there. Marvin Ridge up 33-0 at halftime, Weddington up 33-0 at halftime on Marvin Ridge. This Millbrook game that we were talking about, J. Mike Blake, he's going to join us in just a second. 7-0 Millbrook, as I had mentioned, a defensive slugfest that Bryleson McCullers has given the Wildcats a lead in. Mallard Creek up 13-7 over North Meck. Cardinal Gibbons leading Ambassador Christian 14-10, that one in the second quarter. That's an intriguing matchup there between Gibbons and Ambassador. Hoggard up 21-0 on New Hanover, and Myers Park leading Garinger 30-0 in the second quarter. Cleveland up 13-0 on Fuquay Varina, and Watauga leading Freedom. That game is now into the early parts of the second quarter. It is 21-7 Watauga. I bring in Joel Bryant now to the High School OT halftime show. Joel, this has been an interesting night across the state. What has stuck out to you so far?
Well, yeah, I think our game, the Leesville Millbrook game, it's very fascinating, right? So Millbrook comes off this big emotional win over Rollsville last week. It's tough to come off a win like that and get ready for another good team like Leesville is. Leesville is big. They're solid. They're well coached, and right now I think Millbrook's kind of in a more of a fight than they thought they'd be. So very fascinating to see the second half here with Leesville. That Watauga Freedom score, very impressive for Watauga, jumping out to a 21-0 lead over Freedom. Just a couple weeks ago, Freedom scored 70 points on AC Reynolds. So this is a team that can beat good teams, and Watauga is looking good early.
Any other scores that are standing out that might not be in the top 25 scores, but I know you said Charlotte Christian and Christ School tangled up in what ended up being a runaway game at this point.
Yeah, Charlotte Christian was beating Christ School 37-0.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive for them because Christ School they have some talent, obviously. Charlotte Christian, I'm very curious to see how they're going to stack up against Providence today in a couple weeks here.
That is Joel Bryant from High School OT joining us here again, halftime over at Millbrook High School. As we go around the state here, you can get all of the final scores on HighSchoolOT.com, live score updates as they happen on the Talk It Out NC statewide scoreboard. And
Charlotte now at 44-0.
My goodness. And then also you can tune in to the High School OT postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC once this Millbrook and Leesville game wraps up. We're going to go live at 10:15. Joel and myself will go around the state. We'll look at some of those results, and we'll talk to media members from around the state that were at those biggest games. We'll get back to you in just a little bit, Joel. Thanks. Bring in J. Mike Blake now, who is out at Millbrook High School taking in the homecoming festivities right now over at the Wildcat Stadium. But through the first 24 minutes, J. Mike, that was a defensive slugfest.
Yeah, and if you're familiar enough with these two teams over, the last couple years, you're not surprised by this. Leesville plays great sound defense. Millbrook, great sound defense. Millbrook has a few headliners that are highly recruited, but anything that the other side is doing, they're snuffing out left and right. Of course, in a game like that, sometimes it just takes one mishap or one play that doesn't go the way you planned for it on defense, and it's that 75-yard run by Brylas and McCullers in the second quarter that is holding up as our only score and a big-time score right now.
Yeah, it felt like Millbrook there in the first quarter had to battle through a lot of kind of discipline issues there. They had a lot of holding penalties that pushed them back, down a lot of yardage to go along with it, but it felt like they kind of couldn't get out of their own way. And then Leesville has made some really timely fourth down stops tonight. Prior to that McCullers run, what has stood out the most to you about the defensive effort on both sides?
I think for Millbrook, it is that they've not allowed Leesville to get into a passing rhythm. I mean, tonight, going into this game, Leesville completes about 77% of their passes, and that's not an exaggeration, 77%. Right now, it's 33.3%, and if they don't let Devin Golston go crazy, and he has made some good plays on the ball that have been incompletions, whether he landed out of bounds. Again, in a game that's low scoring like this, if you have that offensive weapon that could be a game breaker, that can make all the difference. Right now, Millbrook's Bryles and McCullers is the game breaker that's holding up as the lone scorer. Leesville, if they can't get the ball to Golston, if Golston can't get, a deep slant, break a tackle, and get even more chunk yardage, then it's going to be tough for them to get anything going because of how good Millbrook is just to the ball. Anything and putting pressure on your quarterback to throw the ball quickly. And also, not only that, there's no one open. On the other side, Millbrook, they've gotten Malachi Gilchrist open. Malachi Gilchrist open quite frequently. 7 receptions so far. A lot of them on a number of different routes that he runs. For Leesville, what they're doing well is they're kind of making Bryson Gray throw this ball on a run, flush from the pocket. They do not telegraph their blitzes. I feel like I'm calling out a different linebacker every time when I say so-and-so flushes Gray from the pocket. And it's because they're disguising their blitzes very well. And I think that has played into Leesville's advantage and really made it, even though Millbrook is outgaining them by a lot, that to me, on top of some Millbrook holding penalties, and it hasn't just been the offensive line, it's been holding on a wide receiver downfield or an unsportsmanlike kind of a little bit stuff after the whistle on a wide receiver in that case as well. So a lot of that is adding up, but I think for Leesville, what they've done well is they are masking their defense, not showing you what's going to be open, and then not showing you which way you're going to have to scramble out of the pocket, because a lot of these plays for Millbrook are designed to roll out Gray in one way or the other, and it just so happens sometimes he's rolling out right into a Leesville defender. It'll be a great second half. Can't wait for it.
Millbrook's going to get the ball here to start the second half. How important is this upcoming drive out of the locker room for the Wildcats here? And if they can put points on the board, how do you think that sets them up for the remainder of this game?
Oh, this is the classic 2 touchdowns feels like 3 or 4 touchdowns. Like it's going to be quite the comeback, because if you go up 2 scores on Leesville, Leesville is going to have to do something they haven't done all game multiple times to come back and win this one. So, yeah, absolutely huge first drive where Millbrook can not put the game away. Like, obviously, Leesville's they're a top 25 team. Like, we're not going to say it's over, but it's going to put so much pressure on every ensuing drive that Leesville has after that, and pressure can burst pipes. You know, that's what they always say. So we'll see what that does, what Millbrook can get going out of halftime. I do like whatever they did with McCullers on a long touchdown run. They clearly said, you know what, when they line up this way, there's not a lot of defenders on that side, because he went off, zone read or zone give on the left side, nobody over there. Maybe it's an adjustment like that gets the Millbrook offense going a little bit more as well.
And I feel like Leesville still has something, a trick up their sleeve in this one. We've seen throughout the year, they've been very creative with their play calling. Obviously, you've seen it tonight showcased on the defensive front, but it feels like if the Pride can come out of this halftime break, get a timely stop, and put together that drive, they can maybe create that momentum and shift it in what is a very kind of back and forth, tightly contested game, and obviously a great environment out there at Millbrook High School. Any other things that have stood out to you, J. Mike, through the first half of this one?
Just a lot of what ifs. Leesville has dropped a deep, it would have been a 30-something yard gain, or landed out of bounds with it. They landed out of bounds with the interception and a 30-yard pass. So, like, what if? And then, of course, one of the very first drives of this game, Millbrook's, I don't know who batted the ball, but Rashad Streets has got all day to catch this thing and then walk into the end zone, and he drops it. So there's a lot of points that's been left on the field, I think. Whichever team starts to finish these plays is going to break away. It's a one-score game, and both teams are like, man, what if we just had X, Y, and Z happen? What would the score look like right now?
Well, that is J. Mike Blake. He and Tyler Clark will be on the call here in just a moment for the second half of a top 20 matchup in the state of North Carolina between Millbrook and Leesville Road. Right now, the Wildcats lead that one 7-0. Thanks, J. Mike.
No problem.
We carry on here with our halftime report, bringing back in Joel Bryant here. Joel, you have something to add?
Yeah, so big game in the Greater News River 7A Conference. Clayton's beating Southeast Raleigh 13-9 at halftime. That whole Greater News River Conference, Evan, the top 4 teams in that conference could end up as top 6-ish seeds in the 7A East bracket. It's a very, very talented conference. So this game will kind of go a long way in determining who has the best RPI out of that conference. We have one update from one of our undefeated teams. Statesville entered this week 5-0. They are trailing Lake Norman 28-0 right now.
Wow.
So that's looking like an undefeated team that might fall. Cary, they entered the week 5-0, and they're in a battle with Holly Springs right now. That's 22-21 Cary at halftime.
And it looks like we got another update there. West Charlotte had scored again, so they're now up 2 scores on Independence down in Mecklenburg County. That game now into the latter moments of the second quarter there. Again, you can follow all of this on the High School OT statewide scoreboard presented by Talk It Out NC. Joel, another question there about that Greater Neuse River Conference there. There's 4 teams really vying for it. How unique, I guess, is it going to be now that you have that playoff seeding is not going to be by conference standing? How high can these 4 teams get in the 7A East?
Yeah, like I was saying, I think they're all going to be maybe top 6 or top 7.
Yeah.
You're looking at, them. It's those 4: Garner, Clayton, Cleveland, Southeast Raleigh, and then Cardinal Gibbons really in the 7A East. I think it's going to be one of those 5 teams that ends up coming out of it, frankly. And so previously, if this was last year, right? So whoever won the conference would have been a high seed, and then everyone else probably would have been 10 seed or lower, because we used to put all the conference champions first before everyone else. But now that we don't do that anymore, yeah, they could all be in the top 6 or 7, maybe even the top 5.
That's incredible, and I think it is definitely a perk here of what we're now getting into over the next couple weeks with playoffs coming around the corner. Obviously, Joel has playoff projections up, and he'll have them tomorrow morning. A quick PSA here as we're in halftime. If you're sitting around watching this game, plug your final scores into Max Prep so we can get them. We get some fresh RPIs in the morning, get some fresh playoff projections for you when you wake up tomorrow morning. But that's Joel Bryant. He's following along with all the games across the state. And again, at 10:15 tonight, we will be back with the High School OT postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC. Let's send you back out to Millbrook High School, where the Wildcats have a 7-0 lead over Leesville Road.
Hello, football fans, and welcome back to the High School OT Game of the Week presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. A defensive slugfest in the first half with Millbrook leading their North Raleigh rival, one of their North Raleigh rivals, Leesville Road, by a 7-0 score. I am J. Mike Blake. Joining me, as always, Tyler Suttles behind the camera, and Tyler Clark here to help me on the mic. Tyler Clark, tell me a little bit about your first half takeaways.
It's been a real defensive slugfest. Leesville's had a few fourth down stops. Millbrook's had some stops. Millbrook's offense has been very explosive, but one play away could have made this game easily 28-0. They had this early inside zone run that went for 75 yards for a touchdown, and that's kind of been the story of the night, just one player away or what ifs.
Yeah, and that's a point that I made on the halftime show talking to Evan Moesta, is there were a lot of, both sides probably feel like they left some points on the board because of some drop passes that could have been crucial first downs, interception that could have been a change of possession. Both teams having those multiple instances. And so the second half, we'll see which one can kind of finish the deal, because you do need that. Football coaches always say you got to make plays, got to finish those plays. We'll see what happens here between two of the best teams, not only in the Triangle, but in the entire state. In 8A, Millbrook is ranked number 1 in the 8A East, number 3 by Joel Bryant. That's the 8A power ratings, as this return will be cut down. He's trying to reverse field there as Martin will take over at the 18. Leesville, meanwhile, and again, this is the Joel Bryant power rankings, 8th in all of 8A, 4th in the 8A East. Now, the 8A East is interesting because last week our game of the week was at Jordan High School in Durham. As of last week's broadcast, we said Jordan was projected to go west, in which they would face mostly schools from Charlotte. Now, or Mecklenburg County, I should say. Now, this week, we're talking about Jordan as an East team because the projections are changing with every week. Again, you can get those on HighSchoolOT if you're a HighSchoolOT insider. Joel Bryant updating those. First pass, slinging it out. This is Gilchrist with it. Close to a first down. Gray finding Malachi Gilchrist, who's now up to 8 receptions. Busy game so far for him.
And what it seems like is they're just kind of trying to work Gilchrist into open space, get him that room to run, because like we saw all first half, he's lightning in a bottle. He just needs one lane and he's gone.
8-yard pickup. 2nd and 2. We talked about, and also in the halftime show, how important it'd be. As this is Gilchrist again. He's going to try to get a decent block, and he will get the first down to forward progress, gets past the 30. We talked about how getting up 2 scores in a defensive game like this, the clock is stuck on 11:37, so I'm not sure how much time we have. But a 2-score game makes it feel almost not insurmountable, but really tough because points are at a premium right now.
And both these teams are running the ball pretty well, and it seems to be their identity for the game right now. So getting them out of that run could be insurmountable.
Flag on the play here. We'll see what the call is in just a moment.
Looked to be a false start on number 70 for Millbrook offensive lineman.
Tyler Clark's got it for us, folks. Bryson Gray up to 115 yards passing. 11 of 18. That's 61.1%. First and 15, and Leesville likes it when Millbrook gets a penalty because then they kind of do some different things. Bring the blitz. They've been masking that blitz well. Another false start.
And this is what we're talking about. Millbrook cannot continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
And they did that in a few different ways in the first half. They actually mostly came on one drive where they had good plays negated, good play, and then something after it that brought it back. They had a holding by an offensive lineman, holding by a receiver, a personal foul on a receiver. That was just one drive. And here, back-to-back false starts. This is Martin sweeping around the edge. Oh, still on his feet on the far side. Pretty good individual move by the guy that tonight we've been mostly calling his name on kick returns. Showing a little bit of slipperiness.
He's got some speed too as he's walking off of what it looks to be hurt. Maybe out of breath.
Long way around that side and had to cut back. 5-yard pickup. He definitely ran more than 5 yards to pick up 5. 2nd and 15. Some late motion by the Leesville defensive line as they get to Brylis and McCullers. He gets about a yard.
And then the adjustments made at halftime. I wonder what, Coach Ben went into the locker room talking to his team about, because the run defense has been really great all game, and it seems to be turning it up in the third quarter.
Third down here. Trips to the left. For the Wildcats, Gray. He's looking to his right. Got his man one-on-one out there. Incomplete. No flags. He was going for Malachi Thomas, who had single coverage, and a great play by the defensive back.
Guess who the defensive back was?
Who's that?
Devin Goldston, playing both ways, and our punter for Leesville, being a jack of all trades.
Yeah. Wake Forest University, though, they see his future as just wide out. But he is doing a little bit of everything in a big game tonight. There's a lot at stake here for Millbrook. Millbrook is actually a school that has been around for more than 100 years. Second oldest school in Raleigh. As this is Lebrecki punting it away. It's high. Oh, almost hits a Leesville player. That would have been disastrous, but it's recovered by a Millbrook. But sometimes it's just really it's a game of roulette on these punts. 41 is where LaPride will take over, but Millbrook's been around for 100 years. They've been playing football for about 100 years. Oof. The last time they finished off an undefeated regular season, now mind you, back in the 90s, this was one of the best programs in Wake County. Consistent 10-win seasons. They have not had an undefeated regular season since 1957.
Ooh.
Dwight Eisenhower was in his second term. Little pop pass going to Perry. Nowhere to go. Slips down for a big loss of about 7.
And they snuffed that jet sweep all the way out. Leesville's got to get something going. I think Millbrook kind of is now keying in on the run, so expect the Pride to start airing it out a little bit.
Golston is at the top of your screen. It's an option play to Best, who carries it. The flag is coming in from far away. We'll see if that is a hold on whatever receiver was holding up his man there, and it is. So bring that back. Millbrook has made it to the East Regional Final before. Never made it to a state title game. So that's a little something at stake further down the road. But after this game, the coast seems pretty clear. They would play Broughton, Enloe, Wakefield, Corinth holders. Enloe, the only one of those teams so far that has not taken a loss in conference play. Millbrook would be favored in that one.
But you never know in high school football. Anything can happen on any given night, and it could be anyone's night.
A decline of that holding penalty. So Best, his run of a couple yards will hold up. Millbrook kind of saying a little bit of a roll of the dice. Most coaches would take the yardage, but they're saying actually we like them to have one less crack at this. And the give is to Best. A solid run. Picks up good yardage. It'll be about 5 or 6 yards short of the first down.
They're in that no man's land. They're gonna punt it.
Yeah, Donovan Best, 4 carries, 14 yards. Leesville, I wouldn't expect him to go for it there. Millbrook was really aggressive in going for it on 4th down in the first half.
Very.
3 times.
Trying to put this game away. Leesville said no.
So we'll play the game of field position here. It's Goldston's kick. Takes a really good roll for the Pride. This will be close to the 10. Picked up right at the 11. 7:13 here on the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken Game of the Week. And if you're craving chicken, Download the Alpaca app to earn rewards and gain access to exclusive offers. New members who sign up will receive a free entree right off the start. Download the app. Free entree is all yours, folks. Again, that's the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app, your nearest location. You can find it on alpacachicken.com. Tyler, you got it. When you've got download the app, get a free entree, and then try the green sauce and the yellow sauce. Tell me which one's your favorite. That's your homework, okay?
I definitely will do that.
You're a studious student athlete. You're going to take that assignment seriously, I know.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure which side I'm on, Team Yellow or Team Green. We have a timeout on the field. We'll take a quick one as well.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry. But most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions. Like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early. Talk often. Talk it out, NC.
Folks, we are back at the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. It's a 1st and 10 for Millbrook. They're at their own 11-yard line, 7:13 here in the 3rd quarter. I'm J. Mike Blake alongside Tyler Clark and Tyler Suttles. Tyler Suttles has your camera. Tyler Clark's got the analysis. And me, I'm just up here talking. Shotgun formation. Gray is going to throw it. Almost complete. It would have been a tough sliding grab, but a little deep slant one-on-one set up out there with Malachi Gilchrist. And when he's been one-on-one, Jazir Thompson, number 23 for Leesville, it's not an easy assignment. He's done pretty well. We got to give him his props.
He has. Now, most of them have been maybe drops, but he still played great defense nonetheless. On that boundary, on that island, some may say, all by himself.
You can tell how much Leesville trusts him to be out here. If he wasn't good, they wouldn't be lining up like this.
Absolutely not.
2nd and 10. The give is to McCullers. Spins. Lots of pride defenders getting to him. A pickup of about 4. He's getting closer to the 100-yard mark today. Again, if you're just joining us, McCullers had 75 yards on one fateful touchdown run that came with 2:39 left until halftime. And that's our only score so far. And that was really just a outlier to the defensive battle we've had.
It was just out of nowhere, nice blocked up inside run play, and he took advantage of every opportunity he got all night, and this one just paid off for him.
3rd and 6. Play action, bootleg, complete. Close to a 1st down. That's Hayes Bronner with it. Little design play action bootleg. Will move the chains. Good call there on 3rd down for the Wildcats. First time Bronner's made a catch tonight. He's been targeted a few times. He's on the left side of Gray as they have trips to the left. McCullers, he's really patient in finding his blocks. He kind of does that little side jump, little hop in the middle of the tackle, trying to find a lane.
Le'Veon Bell is just waiting for his offensive lineman to set up the blocks and finding gaps in between them.
Very successful for a number of years for Le'Veon Bell. That'll get McCullers, I'm sure appreciates that comparison, to the 100-yard mark. 2nd and 6. That is Gilchrist on the jet sweep. taking the handoff. Looks like he's out of bounds, maybe 1 yard shy of the sticks. Any way they can get the ball in his hands, they'll figure out somehow.
And this is a really, really big third down for Leesville's defense. I know it's 3rd and short, but man, you got to think if, they want a chance to even, put a dent in this game.
Well, I'll say this, the position matters. If it's towards midfield, we know Millbrook is thinking, okay, I'm going for it on 4th down even if you do stop me. This is probably the territory Millbrook thinks about punt. You can get the ball back a little bit easier.
I think so.
The handoff, 1st down, and a little bit more.
We won't figure it out right now.
Jacob Bowen, his first carry of the game, gets a solid 6 yards. And that is a sign, I think, of an offense in rhythm. A lot of these runs, first quarter, they were going for 1 or 2 yards. Now, 6 yards, 5 yards here, 7-yard pickup.
And, Leesville's defensive front is good, but it seems like they're just getting worn out by the run game and having to run after McCullers.
Well, that was
Big
a
sack.
fantastic play by Derek Schumanauer. He not only made the sack, he blew up the running back, McCullers, who was supposed to be the blocker out there for him. He just kind of plowed straight through him and then made a shoestring tackle on the sack.
And that's just perfectly practiced. You can tell he's done that before. Well-executed play and brings Leesville much needed stop.
Look at that timeout here for an injured player, so we'll keep it here. And it's a Leesville player on the near sideline. I can't see the number right now. We'll get that to you in a minute. Schumanauer entered today with 19 tackles. Leesville's defensive stats, they kind of spread around a little bit. A lot of guys who make plays, and he's one of them. And he said, oh, there's a guy here to block me. I'm going to take him out and still get you. Still going to bring you down. And I think, in a way, Bryson Gray was a little bit thrown off by that. He thought he was going to have a little bit more time. What do you think about the number of bootlegs and how much they like to roll Bryson Gray left or right throughout this, and what this does, how Leesville's responding to it? Because obviously it's something Millbrook likes to do, and Leesville, for the most part, has not been fooled or has had everyone in the right position.
And what it does is kind of gives our quarterback kind of an option almost to either take off. If he sees somebody downfield or throw it, it just gets him on the open space. So if he needs to, cut up the field or maybe even get out of bounds to avoid a hit, he's got that opportunity. And he's also got the big play arm, I know, to get some action downfield.
It's a loss of about 5 on that sack. Second and 15 for Millbrook, and we talked about how Leesville was flushing him from the pocket the first half. That was probably the first pressure as we are nearing the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. First pressure of the second half for Leesville. They're on him again. He gets it underway, looking deep, and caught, hauled in by Malachi Thomas.
Huge confidence booster. They haven't made a lot of receptions. They've kind of dropped those deep ones, and that's really big for the Millbrook offense, not only field position-wise, but confidence-wise, too.
A big 34-yard pickup for Thomas. He's got 3 receptions for 55 yards today. Thomas, a transfer from Cleveland. That's the team we saw back in week 3. Gray going long for the end zone, perhaps. Is it caught? We're trying to see here. They're talking about it. Oh, man, that could be an amazing touchdown play if they signal. Caught at the 1. 32 yards going up top. I believe that was Thomas again.
And
in the referee discussion, I kind of lost who came down with it over there. Either way, it was 6. Malachi Thomas, unbelievable.
And I thought that, the key to the game was going to be to stop the run, and they did that, but Millbrook has just been airing it out all drive.
Yeah, all of a sudden, those deep passes by Bryson Gray are dropping in. First and goal, ball at the 1. Leesville calling a timeout here. We'll take a quick one ourselves. Be right back as the Wildcats are knocking on the door.
Don't fall for the myths. Get the facts about underage drinking.
Myth: teens bounce back fast and teenage athletes can perform just fine after a night of drinking alcohol. The fact is, alcohol can hinder athletic performance for up to 3 days, delaying recovery and causing long-term issues with muscle loss and weakness. But don't just take it from me.
Choosing not to drink as an underage athlete has really helped me significantly. I've been able to focus, keep my priorities straight, and it's helped me separate myself from, many other people.
Get more facts at talkitoutnc.org.
Welcome back, folks. We have a flag. Really quick.
Sideline warning, maybe?
Perhaps. So weird to see a flag hit the field and you're coming back from a timeout. I think it is a sideline warning, perhaps, or maybe an unsportsmanlike on Leesville. Not that it's going to do much here, folks, because, again, Millbrook just made 2 long completions of 34 yards and 32 yards to get down to the 1-yard line. So even half the distance does not do a whole lot. 3:38 left in the third quarter. The Wildcats have a first and goal.
They got the power package in. They're not making it a secret. It's going to be a run somewhere.
2 big fullbacks in there along with McCullers. They've given both of those fullbacks a carry tonight. But if McCullers gets it this time, untouched into the end zone, touchdown, Wildcats. Make it 13-0 with 3:34 left in the third quarter. Tyler, I would say, unquestionably, best offensive series we've seen from either side tonight.
Easily. Obviously they finished it off here with a run, but, shout out to Bryson Gray on this, just great passes. He took a lot of shots this drive, but, his team came out victorious on the drive, and now they have 7 points.
14-0,
the Wildcats lead. We'll be back, folks.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, but most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions, like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early, talk often. Talk it out, NC.
Are you craving chicken? Download the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app to gain access to exclusive offers and earn rewards by eating the food that you love. New members who sign up will receive a free entree. Again, that's the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app. Taste their legendary flavor and homemade pride at 18 locations across the Triangle, Fayetteville, Mebane, Wilmington, Sanford, and now Wilson. You can visit them online at alpacachicken.com and catch the Alpaca Chicken Game of the Week each Friday night on HighSchoolOT.com.
Welcome back to the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week. I'm J. Mike Blake, joined by Tyler Clark. Millbrook has just taken a 14-0 lead in this showdown between old rivals, the Cap 8 Conference. First place on the line for now, even though it's early in that conference rotation. You get a feeling this is a big one. Fielded by Perry for Leesville on this kickoff. He kind of winds his way back towards the Pride sideline, and he's taken down at about the 22. Good coverage by the Wildcats. And this is where we talked a little bit at halftime with Evan Moesta about what Millbrook going up 2 scores would do. It adds a little pressure every time that Leesville offense takes the field. Makes them feel like they have to do a little bit more. They do. That's factually true. But also kind of heightens a little bit of the in-game tension. We'll see what they do as they take over at the 24. Wow, Marquez Wilbert, one of the first ones in the backfield there for Millbrook. And a loss of a yard. That was Barnes on the carry. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Leesville entered this game with a pretty balanced offense, but it's kind of clear as now Golston is cramping up for the Pride, so we'll have to stop the game for him. With 2:52 left here in the third, but Leesville, a pretty balanced offense. Tonight they've had to get a little desperate to connect through the air because their second down, third downs are just not very manageable. They're second and long, third and long. They have 15 carries for 29 yards. And that has kind of changed the dynamic of this game, forcing our quarterback for Leesville, Demasio Cueto, to the air a lot. 5 of 13 passing for 37 yards. That's a quarterback that entered tonight completing 77% of his passes, down to 38.5 at the moment. Scoreboards across the state hit 0 tonight. You can tune in to the High School Team postgame show. We had the High School Team halftime show. We also have the High School Team postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC. That starts at 10:15 tonight or whenever this one gets done. We have had some late nights here in the High School Team game of the week in the past. Joel Bryant, Evan Moesta, they're breaking down all the biggest games with media members from across the state, including yours truly, that'll be on to talk about this one. That's the High School T postgame show live on HighSchoolOT.com at 10:15. You can also get it on YouTube. It's live on Facebook, live on what's formerly Twitter.
And you got to think, this Leesville team, as the clock slowly ticks down to finish this third quarter, you got to think they're going to start airing it out more than what they have been, but it's just been unsuccessful. Millbrook's done a great job of stopping the runs. There's been a few
I would say stopping everything.
Yeah.
There's 70 yards of offense right now for Leesville. Cueto throwing comeback route, complete. There's a flag down. This could be one of those things where there's interference despite the catch. Rajon Bynum's on the coverage over there.
Flag, I think, is in the backfield.
Oh, there's a flag in the backfield and at the sticks.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll offset here. It's a personal foul face mask on Leesville. I think in a defensive holding on Millbrook, so they will offset. You don't see too many offensive face masks, but that'll make them redo what is about a third, and let's call this 8 from their own 26. And that was a good route too, a little comeback route right at the sticks. Something in the backfield, face mask in the backfield, brings it back. Cueto under pressure, steps, throws to the middle, hit as he tries to bring this one in as Quentin Cipher breaking up man from ball. As that time it was Jaden Lee Perry who had to make a tough one-handed grab, and he probably heard footsteps and that's not why that ball wasn't completed. Would have been a tough grab no matter what.
Yep.
But I would have heard footsteps if I was him.
Devin Colson still doesn't come back on the field, hoping that he's okay and hoping it's just cramps. He's getting stressed out.
Right, now that's another thing. Golston being the punter, the receiver, the corner. And the backup punter, and he's demolished. Oh, gosh. Big loss. He fumbles the long snap, and Millbrook had been getting closer and closer and closer to getting to the punt, and that time 3 Wildcats just detonated a bomb.
And that was led by Quinn Cipher.
Oh my gosh. So, great field position for Millbrook. Tyler, you mentioned it. Devin Golston, losing your punter is always tough and rarely happens because he doesn't play the other positions on the field, so he doesn't get hurt. But he's cramped up. A new punter comes in, and that bobbling of the snap cost everything. Huge 15-yard loss. It's Alex Tiller tried to control it. 1:36 to go in the third quarter. Gray slinging out to the right. That's Quentin Cipher with it. Stays inbounds. Pickup of about 6.
And I guess Leesville's defense thought he was blocking, which he has all night. It slipped him out. You know, easy 5-6 yard completion.
That's exactly what happened. The touchdown reception he had against Rollsville kind of slipped out into the flat. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. McCullers spins out of one tackle, jukes another guy, fighting his way. Touchdown! The third time tonight for the senior. The hat trick makes this game a 3-score contest.
Number 3 now has 3 touchdowns on the night. And the poor gather of the punt seems to be fatal for Leesville, as they now will go down, barring the kick, or no, without the kick, 3 scores.
The kick is good and true, however, and it's now 21-0 here at the High School OT game of the week. We'll be right back after this, folks.
Alpaca Peruvian Chicken is great at office lunches, team lunches, tailgating, and football games. Place your next catering order at Alpaca so you and your friends can enjoy the best rotisserie chicken in the area. Taste their legendary flavor and homemade pride at 18 locations across the Triangle, Fayetteville, Mebane, Wilmington, Sanford, and now Wilson. Alpaca Peruvian Chicken, home of North Carolina's favorite chicken and a proud supporter of high school OT and football teams across the state.
Your child pours their heart and soul into their dreams.
You're so ready for this.
But underage drinking can stop a young mind and body from performing at its best.
Okay, everyone, it's time.
We're ready.
Make sure your star keeps shining. Start the conversation about the dangers of alcohol with tips at talkitoutnc.org.
Welcome back to the High School T Game of the Week presented by Alpaca Peruvian Chicken. J. Mike Blake and Tyler Clark here with you as the number 6 team in the state, who only gave up 7 points last week in that top 25 showdown with Rollsville, is close to holding another opponent well under their season average. 21-0 over Leesville.
Now we do have a full quarter left, so I'm not going to count Leesville out just now, but this lead, Leesville's slow offense just seems a little insurmountable as of right now.
Well, I tell you one thing, the pressure on the offense just escalated a few notches, because if Golston's out, yes, it makes it hard on your offense, but also you don't want to punt again. Because obviously you're Leesville, you're saying, hey, maybe he got the first jitters out of the way, he'll do better on the second time. You don't want to see that happen. You don't want to see the punt unit come out anytime soon after that demolition that we witnessed.
But it looks like Golston's back out there,
which is good. He's a guy that if Leesville comes back in this game, I can't imagine it happening without us calling his name a lot. He is that kind of player who can make a difference. Complete out to the flat. First time tonight we're called Evan List's name. Good design play. He's the second leading receiver for Leesville. Picks up 4. Maybe that gets quarterback Demasio Cueto into a little bit more of a rhythm now. The clock stops with 47.7 seconds left in the third. Trips at the top of your screen for Leesville. Cueto's going to go in that direction. It's complete. That's Golston with it. He's snowed under after a gain of about 1.
And that was a tunnel screen there. And in order for a successful tunnel screen to happen, you have to get your offensive line out in space to block the little guys. And Leesville's offensive line just a little too slow to get out there and get some blocks for Golston.
If not too slow, certainly Millbrook was just too fast.
Yep.
And no gain on that one. And I would be surprised to hear if Leesville wants to take another snap. They're going to probably let this roll down, and that be the last play of the third quarter. We'll count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And folks, put up the fours. Millbrook's got a 3-score lead with 1 quarter left to play.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, but most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions, like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early, talk often. Talk it out, NC.
Are you craving chicken? Download the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app to gain access to exclusive offers and earn rewards by eating the food that you love. New members who sign up will receive a free entree. Again, that's the Alpaca Peruvian Chicken app. Taste their legendary flavor and homemade pride at 18 locations across the Triangle, Fayetteville, Mebane, Wilmington, Sanford, and now Wilson. You can visit them online at alpacachicken.com and catch the Alpaca Chicken Game of the Week each Friday night on HighSchoolOT.com.
Welcome back, football fans. It's the fourth quarter. J. Mike Blake here. Let's see what Leesville can do. Tyler Clark with me. He's mentioned several times about how Leesville has just struggled to move the ball. They're throwing it here on third down, and it's incomplete. Under pressure, this Rashad Street's getting an impact play, making quarterback Demasio Cueto throw that ball a little bit earlier and higher than he wanted to. He was looking for Devin Golston on the comeback route past the sticks. But Golston will have to punt this away for Leesville. Just one play into the fourth.
And I want to commend, all night this Millbrook defense is just kind of just took Leesville's offense out of the game completely almost. I mean, there's a few explosives here and there, but it's just been like empty possession after empty possession for Leesville. And
it'd be interesting to see what kind of offense could short punt here. Good roll for Leesville, but it does not get across midfield. Be interesting how this Millbrook defense could do against a dynamic offense that we saw 2 weeks ago, Mallard Creek. That's a team out of the West in 8A. In the East, again, assuming Jordan is in the East, they can kind of go either way. You've got Millbrook, you've got Leesville, you've got Hoggard down in Wilmington. Rolesville. Millbrook, by playing Leesville and Rolesville, and Leesville and Jordan kind of playing that close game, Millbrook's putting their stamp. Hoggard obviously can have a claim as well. They're not to be dismissed. They were in a state championship game just a few years ago. They are definitely putting their stamp as potentially a favorite to get to their first state championship in school, or I should say program, history. There's a hold well behind the play. Santonis Wright's 3-yard gain will be negated. I'll be surprised if Wright gets a little bit more work on this drive with Brylis and McCullers having one heck of a night of work so far with 16 carries, 109 yards, and 3 touchdowns. All 3 scores.
Real heavy workload for number 3, but he handled it all well tonight.
One more of those scores, and you can start the Gettysburg Address with it. It's 1st and 20 Flag before we start here. See if a Millbrook player jumped a little too early. No, a Leesville player was lined up offside. So take 10 steps back, take 5 steps forward, and we'll try first down for the 3rd time. Leesville's defense had to defend a really short field last time. They have held up well against Millbrook. Gray going one-on-one coverage on the outside. Would have been a tough one-handed grab, but they are going to throw a flag, as they honestly should, because in high school, if you don't turn your head around, you make that contact, it's pretty much an automatic penalty. The interesting thing in high school is it's not always an automatic first. So they will march this thing right up. However, oh, look at that. Yeah, I thought it was a 1st and 15, but it was 1st and 16. So now it's 1st and 1 after the penalty. A rarely seen 1st and 1. Quite the unicorn of down and distance in football. Well, we'll try first down maybe one more time from a different location. This reminds me of the drive they had in the 2nd quarter, where they had about 8 or 9 plays to try to pick up the same first down marker. We're already on quite a number of snaps just for this first down. It's now a 1st and 6. Gray thrown out in the flat. He's got Bronner. Bronner's got a first down. Nice solid 10-yard pickup there. Whether it's the downfield blocking or it's the quick decision making or just the play design, Millbrook finds a lot of success in ways that other high schools don't. A lot of high schools want to do spread offense, air it out, go deep. Millbrook, these routes are kind of part of that steady flow, getting offense in rhythm, the 6, 8, 10-yard plays at a time. This tackle. Logan Kaiser was the first one there for Leesville. Santonis right. His forward progress for right will get about 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And you got to think Leesville's going to be calling out all the stops for these last couple of trying to get off the field. They need anything.
The other thing, Tyler, is sometimes we've seen big interceptions on defense. When you do rollouts and guys in the flat, there's less likelihood of turning the ball over. And if there's one thing that could get Leesville back in the game, it would be a turnover. But you can't get your hands on the ball because the routes are what, I guess, and I don't mean this in any derogatory sense, they're safer routes.
Yep.
Run that time by right.
And you get it, when you get those little rollout passes and you got the tight end kind of 2 feet away from you, it's kind of a lot easier and a lot harder for the defense to kind of make an interception or a big play on the ball.
You're just at the mercy of maybe someone drops and hits it up into the air.
Which we did see earlier in the game.
We did. Almost a pick 6. We've had a few crazy plays like that on the HighSchoolOT Game of the Week. Hand off to right. He is trying to fight his way for that first down, but he's driven back just shy of that 25-yard line. Will bring up 4th down.
I do like how they're giving McCullers, speaking of McCullers, he's running back on the field, but they were giving him a kind of a rest this drive. He's had a heavy workload all night. Not that to say he wasn't, handling his business, but
yeah, he earned a little bit of rest, and now he comes out when you got to put the money on the table. 4th and 3 for the Wildcats. The clock is under 8.5 minutes here in the 4th. Man in motion. Gray is going long, too high, incomplete. Leesville take over once again.
And Leesville must strike now. They can't wait and run the ball. They have to strike immediately if they even want to have a chance for the rest of this game.
We'll see what the Millbrook defense, we saw a backup running back gets some work in that last drive, but I don't see any signs they're putting any second teamers on defense yet. Even though 21-0 feels a lot safer than it would in most cases, in most games across the state. And speaking of those games across the state, we'll talk it out NC scoreboard on HighSchoolOT.com. That is the most up-to-date, accurate, fastest place to get your scores. HighSchoolOT, talk it out NC scoreboard. A long throw by Cueto is caught by Goldston. A heck of a play to drag the feet in bounds. On first down, he picks up 11.
And he does a good job of tapping his feet in, getting out of bounds. And like you said, if they're going to have any chance to get back in this game, it's going to be through Goldston.
Sometimes you can see those final scores from across the state and wonder, is that score real? If you have any doubts, go see if it's on the Talk It Out NC scoreboard on HighSchoolOT. A good run there. Tough run by Donovan Best. His 5th carry of the night. Picks up 4.
And Leesville's just not going that fast right now for some odd reason.
Quick throw to Perry. He's hit by Cipher, but it is a pickup of another 4 yards. Cueto settling in a little bit here, perhaps.
And if they want to have, some time left on the clock, they got to pick up the pace. They can't be doing all these mass substitutions because all that does is run clock down and down and down.
So Leesville now a 3rd and short. 7 seconds, and they are taking a little bit of time here. Maybe it's part of, hey, no huddle wouldn't get anyone into any rhythm at this point. I don't know. They bring in an extra blocker, and they run behind that blocker. First down. Barnes again. Just 26 yards rushing total tonight for Leesville. On 19 carries. Millbrook defense, they gave up 13 in a week 1 win against Garner, and that, in hindsight, was a really good mark for Garner. Garner was not ranked at the time. They sure are now. That's the only loss for the Trojans entering this Friday. It's Cueto throwing it long for Golson up top. Through the hands. Would have been a tough grab. He was kind of trying to time his leap, knowing that there was Brady Graffam behind him that could deliver a big hit. Cueto now 9 of 20 passing. And again, folks, Millbrook's next 4 games. They are 4 games away from something they have never done in the more than 100-year history of the school. Or actually, no, sorry. Start over. They have done it. It's just been 68 years. And it's wrapped up. That'll be a sack and design pass play for Cueto. Carson Adams on the tackle. Cueto on the loss of 5 yards. So again, 1957. Millbrook, the community, was not even considered in Raleigh back in 1957. Raleigh was such a smaller town than the big city that it is. That's how long it's been since Millbrook had an undefeated regular season. Cueto throwing it deep through a few hands, batted around. There's a few guys in the area. Just a lot of missed things off people's hands tonight for Leesville. They needed to execute extremely well to have a chance.
And with them, with Leesville bringing the punt team out, You gotta think.
Yeah, you gotta think it's
getting close to it.
Yep, and I'll tell you, Leesville, they have a showdown with Roseville later on this season. That tonight's game will certainly help them to do. Low snap, Golston gets it off anyway. If Millbrook had been in on Goldston as much as they had at other times tonight, that could have been a block kick. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Raising kids is a roller coaster. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry. But most times you wonder how your kid turned out so well. That's how. You did the hard work, made the right decisions. Like talking about alcohol before it could be a problem. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get resources on how to talk about underage drinking. So Mom, Dad, keep up the good work. It's worth it. Talk early. Talk often. Talk it out, NC.
Welcome back, folks. Millbrook's got the ball with 5:17, and they're just going to try to salt away this game. Put it on ice, whatever metaphor you like to use. For when a football team is up and the clock is their friend. Throwing it, airing it out, first down, complete for a big gain. Malachi Thomas with a solid 15-yard pickup. So Millbrook says, oh, you think we're going to run out the clock? How about this? Big pickup on first down.
And Millbrook is taking their time in and out.
This will be where they get to milk it a little bit in between those plays. Thomas over 100 yards. So Gilchrist, who has more receptions, a little bit shorter variety. He's at 92 yards receiving. Malachi Thomas at 102.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Low snap. Gray. He's going to have to. Well, he throws this well out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. That's grounding. Not anyone really in home there. So a loss of down and a penalty.
Didn't get outside the tackle box. Easy call for the officials. No fight back from the Millbrook sideline either.
That play kind of blown up from the beginning. And that's what Leesville did so well in the first quarter. We had no score in the first quarter. We had no score for most of the second. Just that 75-yard touchdown run with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left until halftime. That put this game in Millbrook's favor ever since. Flag again. What happened there, Tyler?
We just can't. Penalties. I don't know if it's who it's on right now, but penalties have kind of killed both sides. Mostly the Millbrook side, but it really doesn't show too much of effect right now as they're up 21-0.
Definitely one of those things that, and I feel like this was kind of what happened with us in the Mallard Creek Cardinal Gibbons game 2 weeks ago. Clean game, and then the last quarter came the flags.
Yep.
So it's interesting how Millbrook has some really clean drives, and then a few other drives, it's like where all their flags are in like these 2 or 3 drives. Slinging it out, complete, and going over the 100-yard mark today is Malachi Gilchrist. He has run basically every route in the book, I feel like, Tyler. And he's been open in every route in the book. Good safety valve for Bryson Gray.
And he may be catching the ball, maybe even behind line of scrimmage, 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, but he can make plays. I promise you that. He will make a play. He will make you miss and get gone.
Not bad when you have 2 receivers with that many yards that you can go to. Gray airing it out again. Oh, he's open out there and just beyond the grasp of Malachi Thomas. There's a flag in the middle of the field. Oh man, that one's probably inches away from dropping in as well. Ooh. Instead, 4th down.
In a unit we haven't seen much, the Millbrook punt team.
No, we sure haven't. Part of that is their aggressive 4th down calls. They've picked up a big 4th down. They've also been stopped on 3 of them, I believe, and hasn't hurt. Another flag coming in. I do not know what is happening. The ref is...
I think he was flinching the ball.
He's telling a long snapper not to do something with the ball. You would know.
Yeah, he's flinching the ball a little bit. Trying to get a good grip on it, maybe.
3 minutes, 47 seconds left in this game. And penalties are something you got to clean up if you want to make a big playoff run. And Tyler, that's probably where both teams are going to have to be thinking about tonight. Millbrook coming out of this with 2 big wins and really their 2 biggest weeks of the season, where they can go against the teams that we all know are going to compete with them for the Cap 8 conference title. That punt goes out of bounds. We'll pin on the spot here, see how the ref decides to signal it. I think this is one of the toughest things for a referee to determine from 20, 30 yards away where the ball went out of bounds exactly. Yep. You almost need like those tennis cameras that can see where the ball's on the line or not, where it goes out. But Millbrook, they passed their test. You got midterms coming up, right?
Absolutely.
You want to pass your test the way Millbrook passed these last 2 weeks with Rolesville and Leesville.
Flying colors. Their defense has been stellar the past 2 weeks, obviously. Going to a tough place to play in Roseville. You know, have them score 7 points is great. And this really good Leesville offense, holding them to 0 as of right now.
Another tunnel screen being set up here to Goldston, and ball comes out. The ball is on the ground, and Millbrook has it. The recovery made by Brady Graffam. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left. Just that kind of night for the Pride.
And
Goldston 50 yards receiving, but he's got to be frustrated with a few almost catches and frustrated with putting the ball on the ground there.
Yeah, and that just kind of, just sums it up for tonight for Leesville. Those what ifs all night, and you can't win games with what ifs.
They're going to have to clear that out of their system next week. They host Enloe. Enloe entry tonight is the only team that could be tied with Millbrook for first, and that's all if the Eagles can handle business against Athens Drive. And then Leesville plays at Corinth Holders. Then on October 24th, they host Rolesville. And it's not as though where you finish in the conference has great impact on exactly where you're going to be seated. But if they can make it to the end of the regular season 8-2 with a 2-point loss to Jordan, and then tonight, for right now at least, a 3-score loss to Millbrook in a game that was 7-0 at halftime, there's still some positives to bring to the table when they enter the playoffs.
Absolutely. And their defense can hang their hats. They played really well, especially stopping the run early. They limited penalties early too, and they created a lot of turnover on downs. So there's always some positives to pull from games like this.
Moving the sticks at long last, 3:25. And the clock is rolling again. The clock is the friend of Millbrook. Try to whittle this game away. The gives to McCullers. First guy in to take him down by the ankles is Gavin Lennon. 2-yard pickup. McCullers going into tonight had 7 touchdowns. He's now the double digits on the year. And that's a good thing for this Millbrook offense. I tell you, if you imagine the teams that have made it out of, we'll say 4A, because it's the first year with 8 classifications. I think they look different from Millbrook offensively, but they Millbrook defensively ranks up there with any team that's emerged.
And it's not just the stars. It's not just the stars for the Millbrook defense. There's a lot of, I don't know, guys who don't get as much credit as they deserve, and not to take away the shine from the stars, because the stars were stars tonight. Quinn Cypher and Rashard Streets. But there's some other guys who really like kind of gel the team together.
Yeah, there's not a lot open for Leesville. And it's not just because of two players. Two players may cover a lot of ground, but there's a lot of depth on this defense. And offensively, the way they set up those screens for Malachi Gilchrist, that's good disciplined football.
Yeah.
And then if Malachi Thomas gets a deep ball, you have that play. And you can see Millbrook, although tonight, kind of a steady diet of 8-yard pickups, they have the ability to set you up for that big play later on. They've tried it a few times. Give it to McCullers on 3 straight plays, and on the next one, play action. And those are the key moments sometimes in those playoff games.
Yep. The big play, the explosive plays really win games, and Millbrook had a good amount of explosives tonight, and hopefully they continue to carry that throughout the rest of the season to the playoffs, as it'll be a tough road in the 8A playoffs.
Again, Millbrook, think of 8A East, you have to kind of recalculate your brain. Some of those teams that were 4A powers like Cleveland, like Cardinal Gibbons, they're 7A, so they won't run into them. There is Hoggard out there by the coast, putting together a really nice season. But Millbrook has seen 2 of those teams that can compete with them. McCullers on the carry. Ooh, there's a flag coming in. Maybe the tackle was a little too high there. Logan Kaiser got him up around the shoulders. They're saying is there a hold? There is. So not a flag on Kaiser, just a good solid tackle, but the play will be wiped out nonetheless. We are going over a few speed bumps on our way to finishing out this game.
Absolutely. You know, you're working in a few new guys in for both sides of the ball, and it just comes with just some kinks in especially offensive line play, switching from practice to the game. So
3rd and looks like about 15. Bryson Gray throwing it to Gilchrist. Gilchrist cutting back, trying to stay. Well, I thought he was going to try to stay in bounds. He wanted to for a little bit, but then he thought, well, maybe I should just go get this first down and kind of close us out. But instead, he does something in between. Picks up good yards, about 13 of them. But he steps out of bounds, stops the clock with 2:05, and he doesn't quite get to the sticks. There's a 4th and 2 coming up. 20 completions now for Bryson Gray.
Wow. The power package comes in for Millbrook. Hopefully this is one of the last time they walk this package out. So Leesville coach calls a timeout. Jogs a guy late onto the field.
Timeout for Leesville. Again, these are 2 of the best coaching staffs, certainly in the Triangle. There are a lot of great coaching staffs across the state, but the consistency that Leesville has won through the years, this will be a timeout where it's not even about this game, it's about teaching lessons to try to make a playoff run, because in 8A, you don't know exactly how the bracket's going to work out. You could wind up in the, quote-unquote, we'll call it the Final Four or Elite 8, just because there's fewer teams.
Right.
And some of the teams that maybe you had trouble with in the past, they're not in your bracket anymore. So it might take us all a few years to kind of realize that, like, okay, you're 8-2, you still realize you can go win this thing, right?
Yeah.
2:05 left. Malachi Thomas, 5 catches, 102 yards. Malachi Gilchrist, 11 catches, 107 yards. Millbrook picks up this first down. They can put this game on ice. McCullers, stiff arm, stays in bounds. First down.
Flag on the play.
Flag is on the play. The flag has been active. A lot of motion from the flag here in this fourth quarter.
Refs have been working overtime. Hopefully they can get some Alpaca's chicken after the game.
Alpaca chicken, good for any occasion. If you've had a game before the game, players or refs or coaches.
Even
Fourth down became a lot longer because of that penalty. So 4th and 12. .159 on the clock, folks. Gray going long and caught. Down at the 5. It's complete to Tayden Martin. .37-yard completion.
Guess they're keeping Leesville's defense honest. Normally you would run the ball under 2 minutes when you're up, but
it was fourth down, so they did have to air it out there. They said, we're going for a big one here. And they could either go for a knee or try to get on the board one more time. Let's see what they do. Gray is rolling out, trying to look for anyone open, just throws this one away. I'll stop the clock. Tayden Martin's first catch of the day. Bryson Gray completing almost 62% of his passes tonight for 280 yards. No touchdowns to show for it. There's no doubt. He's gotten better and better as the night's gone on.
Yeah, and it just comes with settling in. You know, it's a crazy atmosphere homecoming night. You know, you get to see all your friends from classes, and your nerves get a little bit there. Playing a rival, and he's just settled in. Time's gone by. He's had some success on the run.
2nd and goal. Gray rolling out to his right, throws it, caught for the touchdown. Complete to Malachi Thomas with 1:28 left. So Gray gets his first touchdown pass of the night. Thomas 6 yards out. The extra point is good from Lebrecki. He's perfect tonight. And that makes it 28-0. We'll be right back in just a little bit.
Don't fall for the myths. Get the facts about underage drinking.
Myth: teens bounce back fast and teenage athletes can perform just fine after a night of drinking alcohol. The fact is, alcohol can hinder athletic performance for up to 3 days, delaying recovery and causing long-term issues with muscle loss and weakness. But don't just take it from me.
Choosing not to drink as an underage athlete has really helped me significantly. I've been able to focus, keep my priorities straight, and it's helped me separate myself from, many other people.
Get more facts at talkitoutnc.org.
Folks, we got 1 minute and 28 seconds left. The HighSchoolOT Game of the Week. Number 6, Millbrook has looked the part. I'm J. Mike Blake with Tyler Clark. Reminder that at 10:15 tonight, the HighSchoolOT postgame show presented by Talk It Out NC will be on HighSchoolOT.com. You can watch it live on Facebook. You can watch it live on X. You can watch it live on YouTube. I will be on there to talk about this game. We're talking to media members from all across the state. Talk about all the biggest games. Best analysis in the state, best post-game show, best scoreboard All brought to you by Talk It Out NC. Don't forget, there is a fall giveaway with Talk It Out NC. That's now through November. You can enter your chance to win a $250 grocery gift card. Just go to talkoutnc.org to submit your entry. While you're there, you can share what's on your mind at the dinner table. You can tag Talk It Out NC on social media, sharing healthy recipes you feed your athlete, maybe a short video of you cooking, maybe other ways that you spark the conversation at mealtime. Talk It Out NC's mission is to reduce underage drinking by fostering open, honest, and ongoing conversations between adults and young people. Don't wait. Enter today and make every meal a moment to start the conversation. And Leesville's drive will start at its own 20. Again, Leesville outscoring the opponents the last 3 weeks, 162-3. We knew it was not going to be that tonight because competition got a little bit more real for both sides. Millbrook, they did have a big showdown last week, but some of their other contests this year have been blowouts. We knew that wasn't going to be easy tonight, but they have absolutely earned every bit of the shutout and earned every bit of this 28-0 win.
Yeah.
Leesville has decided that they're just going to get out of here. A minute and 20 seconds are ticking down. Tell you what, Tyler, we talked about the Millbrook undefeated regular season that hasn't happened since 1957. Chances are looking good.
Very good, and they just got through the kind of the meat of their schedule. I wouldn't say they eased their way throughout the rest of the season, because every high school matchup is going to be a harder one. But it looks bright to be 10-0.
Yep, 4 games left. Again, Enloe, the only one of those teams that entered tonight without a conference loss. Just so happened Millbrook playing 2 of the conference contenders early. And that will be the final snap of this one. Final score, Millbrook 28, Leesville 0. The Wildcats are 6-0. Folks, we'll have the story, photos, highlights all for you tonight on High School OT. Don't forget the High School OT post-game show presented by Talk It Out NC. Don't forget about the High School OT scoreboard presented by Talk It Out NC. Post-game show starts at 10:15. Make sure to watch it. I'll be there. Hope you will be too. This is J. Mike Blake speaking for Tyler Clark and Tyler Suttles, who brought you tonight's action. Have a good week. We'll see you next time.